Here we go. We're going to start our show. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Healing Hawaii with Karen Kaulana. I'm Karen Kaulana, and I'm so excited to have my guest today, Maris Chu from M Psychic Readings. Hi, Maris.
Hi everybody.
I am so excited to see you because I haven't seen you in, I don't know, years.
Yeah, really, it's been a while.
It's been a long time. So I can't wait to jump in and talk to you. I know we only have an hour and I want to hear all about the latest things. And you have a meditation for us tonight that will help us in this new year, which is awesome. And you also are going to share some things with us tonight of all the latest things that you're up to. I love your background, by the way. It's gorgeous. I love purple and it's
Oh,
beautiful.
thank you. Yeah, one of my friends, Shayna, got this for me, and I was like, oh, I gotta use it. So yeah,
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so
yeah.
beautiful with all your things in the background. And you know your candle, is that a real candle or is that like a LED light?
No, it's battery operated.
Oh, that's so cool. Because I love the flickering flame in the back, but I would be
Yeah.
nervous about like, if the fire catches. So that's so perfect. It's safe, but it's beautiful. I love it. I love it, love it. So I'm so excited that Maris is here, and I'm so excited that all of you are tuning in to hear all that she has to share, including her guided meditation, which is so healing. And she's going to talk to you about her YouTube channel, which you guys got to go check out. I binge watched I was just telling her I binge watched all her videos because they're short, but they're really good. They're so good. So they're so healing and so helpful and so intuitive and just great information. So she's going to share a lot of that with you. And I hope you go check it out. A lot of resources there. Her website is mpsychicreadings.com. The letter M for her Maris, her name, psychicreadings.com. And I love your website too. You can follow her on Instagram and Facebook, which is also under M Psychic Readings. So just follow her up, check out her new YouTube channel. And oh my gosh, we got so much to talk about. So let's dive in. I always start my show off with a prayer or some kind of positive blessing. And so I felt today it was good to start off with St. Francis's prayer of make me an instrument of your peace. It's also known as the peace prayer. And many people from all different faiths say this prayer. It's almost like a poem. And many people say it because it just is universal. It's so universal. So I'm going to start with that and just lift up all those that are in your hearts and in your thoughts and that need help right now. We just lift them up that all their needs are met and everyone is supported, and continue to pray for health, healing, and wellness. All right, so we're going to take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. In this world of sometimes challenging times and chaos and busyness, let's take another breath to be still. To be still in the presence of each other, to honor each other, to honor Creator and Source, to listen open-heartedly with compassion and love and kindness, and not forget our own humanity and the humanity of others. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is my great, great pleasure to reintroduce Maris Chu of Psychic Readings. I'm so excited to hear everything that's going on. Maris, welcome, welcome, welcome to Healing Hawaii. I am so glad that you reached out to me and we're going to get to catch up a little bit. Maris, you have a lot going on that is so exciting and I can't wait to dive in. Can you tell people just a little bit about yourself and your background, where you grew up?
So I I was let's see. I grew up in Kaimiki and I lived on Oahu all my life. I did go through times when I would experience a lot of psychic experiences, but I would push it back and ignore it. In high school, I would pick up even more, but I would try to pretend that it wasn't there. And I would just yeah, like try to pretend it wasn't there. But basically, after high school, I got more into meditation, more into different types of martial arts that actually brought it on even more. And then I started trying to figure out what is it that I have and what is this energy and how can I use this in a really good way, in a positive way to help other people. And from there, I started doing readings. I started using tarot cards, but tarot cards it was okay, but I also picked up things without using the cards. So I would hear things, pick up feelings, and it was very different because it's not something I would look up in some kind of book on tarot cards, and wouldn't say anything about what I was experiencing. So a lot of times I
Ah,
had to ask some of my teachers like what this was, what that was, in order to figure it out. But through my experiences, I eventually decided, okay, I want to do this for a living. So around, I want to say 93 or 94, I'm not sure, but I started opening an office in Kaimaki. And I was there for a while, and then I went off on my own. Then I started doing craft fairs. So I did like the Milani Town craft fair with Lorene Tanaka, and then I started to do other craft fairs and 808 craft fairs with Lauren Mori, and then I also had my office in Waikiki at the Waikiki Landmark Building. Yeah.
wow. So you're a Kaimaki girl. Me too. I grew up in Kaimaki. So wow. Um, you said you had some psychic experiences, intuitive experiences from early on. What was the youngest age that you
Yeah.
remember having something like that?
Oh. Uh, I remember like there would be times when I would tell my parents something like, "Oh, I think someone's gonna pass away today," or "Oh, I feel like," I would say like the weirdest things. Like I would say weird stuff like, "Oh, you're gonna see a dead body today," like weird stuff like that, and just out of the
Wow.
blue. Um, I remember I would see like a dead cat, like a ghost cat running around, and just weird incidents like that. Yeah.
Wow. So you could see ghosts?
Yeah, I could see ghosts. And then later, as I got more into it, I actually could hear them, and I would pick up feelings. But through my experiences of doing psychic readings, I realized that it's all kind of like the same. It's like there's a oneness to it. It's like a consciousness, or it's like we're just tapping into an energy. Yeah.
Mm-mm. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. And so you said that you kind of fought it in high school or these gifts. So
Yeah.
you had gifts to not only hear and see, but you could read people too, right? You could pick up things from people.
Yeah, and for someone that is in high school and seeing things that people are showing on the outside, but then you pick up these other things that they're hiding on the inside, it makes you a little bit confused on how to react to things and how to react to them as a person, as a
Yes.
friendship. So it makes it kind of tough. So a lot of times I would pull away from a lot of people.
Ah, yes. Oh my gosh, that so makes sense. For a lot of
Yeah.
people who are empathic or intuitive, that makes a lot of sense. I never realized that just went bells went off in me, because that's a lot of how we feel sometimes. It's confusing, because what you see in the world and what you feel is really happening is
Mhm.
very different, especially within people. So it's very
Yeah.
hard. So what eventually made you feel like, you know what, I'm going to use these gifts, I'm going to develop them?
Um, I felt like there was this time when I actually went to this lady that was she's a psychic and she was also in Kaimaki, and her name was Debbie Salmon. She's kind of well known. She passed away already, but and I would go to see her, and it was weird. It's like I didn't see her to get a reading. I was just walking past, and I would talk to her all the time. And it's interesting because I could see how she was helping so many people, and at the same time, it made me feel like how I wanted to be there for people that didn't have someone to talk to. And so I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be there for those people because I'm very fortunate. I have a good family support system and people I can always talk to. But it made me always wonder, what about these people that don't, you know? So that's
Mm,
why I decided to do this for them, but also for me because I also learn a lot at the same time.
wow, it's so powerful. um you have a lot to share, because you have a lot going on, and you're going to share a meditation with us that people can find on your YouTube channel later if they want, but you're going to share it live tonight too. Before we get into that, can you talk about some of the things going on? And you mentioned that to me earlier that you started to create oracle cards, which I didn't know. I didn't know that you have oracle cards now. So can you talk about that and how you got started with that?
Yeah. So actually, there was a time when I was working for a senior center, and I started creating crafts and doing activities for them. And I would go on YouTube and figure out how to like paint something really fast and teach them how to paint it. And then I actually started liking it and enjoying it. So I started doing it more and more. And then after a while, I when I would look at oracle cards and tarot cards, I would look at the symbolism and the meanings behind it. And then I would have my own meanings and my own
Mm,
symbols. And I said, hey, I want to try and do this. So I'm in the process of it. I still have somewhere to go. I didn't come from an artist perspective, so it's not like I can do it really fast and just paint, everything that I want or what I see in my head. It's like it's more like I'm still learning the art part of it and the painting part of it, but I know what I want to see, so
mm.
it's kind of like a little bit of a struggle there, but so it's not on a roll yet, but I'm doing it as things flow. So like if I feel like, oh, it's a good time, I can paint today, or I feel good about painting today, then I'll do it. Yeah.
Have you always been an artist? Like, have you always been able to paint or draw or?
No, actually, no.
Wow.
I started because of where I was working, and then I got more and more into it. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. And then now you're combining that with your psychic gifts by doing it with for the
Yeah.
oracle cards.
Yeah, for the oracle cards and just like symbolism and things that I feel is meaningful. So I'm putting it's really for myself, like I'm putting it together, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, maybe there's other people that would be interested in this, and I can share my perspective of how I do readings at the same time.
That's really cool. You know, I remember going to a reading with you when I first interviewed you a few
Hmm.
years ago, and I think you drew me something. I think you were already
I did?
using
Oh,
drawing or diagramming things on paper to kind of show what you were picking up. I really think you were
oh.
already like putting stuff on paper for people.
Yeah, I think what that was when I used to teach intuition classes, I would have them draw. So I would have them draw like stick figures, and then I would tell them that as they draw pictures, you can look at the picture and go into the picture and pick up messages from it. So I think maybe
Wow.
that's what I was doing. Yeah.
Oh, wow, wow. And you're going to be teaching intuitive classes again, right?
Yeah. So before the pandemic, I was teaching it in my office in Waikiki, but after, you know, things you have to adjust to the times, right? So like I
Mhm.
started doing classes online, and I'm gonna eventually start a Patreon where I do my intuition classes there. And I figured out a way to kind of share how to tap in on an energetic level. So it's not just about memorizing something, it's more about going within and picking up these feelings and how to tap into the energy.
Wow. That's so cool. I can't wait for your Patreon and your intuitive classes. I think that's going to help a lot of people too to tap into that. Their inner strength, inner power, and inner psychic ability, inner intuition. That's going to be really, really cool. I want to go back to you mentioned the oracle cards. Are you selling those already or no, not yet?
Not yet. I still have several, like maybe half more to go. Yeah, so I'm still
Okay.
working on them. Yeah, but that's
Okay.
the other thing that on my Patreon, I'm gonna be posting as I go along and making them, so they can see the process of me doing it, and I will actually go over the meanings and why I'm painting it a certain way.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Will you be sharing that on your YouTube channel as well?
I am gonna share some of it on the YouTube channel as well. Yeah,
Okay, and so people can follow you by going to your website, mpsychicreadings.com, right?
yeah, M,
mpsychicreadings.com.
yeah, M psychic readings with a S. Yeah,
Yeah, readings with an S at the end. You mentioned
right.
COVID, and I wanted to touch base with you and check in with you. How has COVID been for you, these COVID years?
Um, you know, it's actually eh, I know this is well, okay, it's actually been really good for me. Um,
Oh,
maybe
that's
about
good.
yeah, half the year before COVID started, I was already getting to a point of doing video readings. And I even was putting it out there, like telling a lot of my clients that, you know, I'm going to start doing more video readings, and just letting you know this is what's going to happen. And so I was already like prepared in a different way. Like I didn't know that there was going to be a pandemic. I knew something was going to happen, but I didn't know what it was. And
Ah,
so I already started it. And so when the pandemic came around, it was like it was just rolling right into what I wanted to do, you know. So it really worked for me, and it's good because I made a lot of connections with people I wouldn't have, you know. So it's nice to talk to people from different states and countries. Um, Japan is the best because I can wake up at 2 in the afternoon. No, I'm
oh
just
my
kidding.
gosh.
But Japan is, but yeah, Japan is good because it's like 2 p.m. and then their time I think is like 9 a.m. or something. But other places I have to wake up really early for. Yeah,
Oh yeah, I could imagine. Yeah, your schedule must be all
yeah,
over the place. But that, yeah, I didn't think about that, that when you were doing your readings here, it was just locally. So you weren't doing readings
yeah.
like internationally or for people across the mainland and now or the continent. And now you're able to tap into that. Can you explain a little bit of
Mhm.
how distance readings work? Because these people are not here physically here, so you don't feel their energy here, but they're away. Are you
Mhm.
connecting with people over the phone or on Zoom, or how do you connect with people and how does it work?
So what it is because it's reading the energy. What it is you're tapping into the energy of the person. So whether the person is near or far from you, there's a energy connection. And also I tap into myself. So I tap into like a feeling that I get within myself and my subconscious mind at the same time. So the answers, it doesn't need to be where the person's right there in front of you. Um, as long as I have something to connect with, it'll be okay. Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
I
that's
don't know if that
really
made sense, but
no, that
yeah.
makes sense. That makes sense. You and do you do something to prepare for readings? Because like
Yeah.
I do,
So
so I like do
mhm,
Reiki healing. So I pray a lot beforehand. Like I pray, I use sage, I use crystals, I use
yeah.
I to clear things, and I really it's like whole process before I even do the Reiki. So do you have a process or what you do before readings?
Yeah. Before readings, I try to make sure I have some time to meditate, and I sage room. Even if I do video readings, I still sage. So even
Me
before
too.
today, I sage. Yeah, yeah, and I can feel the energy lifting off. Then it's it's a lot more clear. So it does make a difference. Yeah, and it makes difference for us. Yeah, as we do it too. So yeah,
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. So meditation, you do meditation and sage to help you prepare
yeah,
for
yeah.
reading
Some kind of
someone.
centering. Yeah.
Centering. Ah, okay, okay. Now, let me ask you, how do you protect yourself? Because not all energy is safe in some ways. And so how do you protect yourself and ground yourself? Because or else you're going to start absorbing all the energy. And how do you observe and not absorb? That has been a challenge for a lot of empaths or intuitive people, is that we tend to absorb instead of just observe. And so
Yeah,
how do you
yeah.
protect yourself?
Yeah, so the first thing is what everybody says is like put the white light around you and
Mhm.
to sage. But another part of it too is it's really your mind as well. If your mind is strong and you don't have any fears on the situation, that also strengthens it. It's almost like I tell people, like it's almost like you go to you watch a movie on TV, right? Like a scary movie or whatever, and then the person's like, what is that noise? Should I roll down the window, or should I look outside, or should I open the door? But once you get curious, you open that door, you're kind of letting the guards down a little bit. So in that sense, you have to decide, am I going to be curious and I want to learn and know about this? But you could get messed up in the process, or am I going to keep it closed and keep the protection energy around me? And yeah, for me, I would get messed up during the process. So
Me
because
too.
sometimes I want to learn, so I want to know, what is this? What does this feel like? But after a while, as you learn, then it's like, okay, I don't need this anymore. I'm going to just protect the energy. Yeah. So,
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you had like very emotional readings where it really did affect you?
oh yeah, definitely. I cry more than the person I'm doing the reading for all the time.
Wow, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really bad because I'm like telling them like, wait, isn't it supposed to be the other way around? Because
Mhm,
I really go in and I really want to tap into their energy. Because for me, the way I see it is, if I can really tap into their energy and tell them what I feel they're going through, then they know that, hey, she can probably help me. But if I can't do that for them, of course they're gonna feel like, oh, she doesn't know what the heck I'm talking about. So I really
mhm,
try to go in and tap in, but in the process, yeah, I sometimes I don't protect myself because I want to feel it. I want to know what they're going through, and then I start like crying, and it's like, and then I'm just, yeah, so we're both like end up crying.
Oh my gosh, wow. Yeah, but that's because you're so empathetic too. Like your empathy is so deep and you can really step into someone's emotions and feel what they're going through so that you are able to help them. But that's very powerful. That is so powerful. Okay, so now let me ask you, is there something you do after readings to clear and to let go because you don't hold
Oh yeah,
on to
definitely.
that emotion and that feeling? What do you do?
Yeah, so first of all, I sage again. I meditate again. Sometimes when I meditate, I meditate, but then I go walking to kind of clear the energy around me and to process everything and then to let it go. But yeah, I do that usually every day, actually. And a lot of times, even when I used to do readings at fairs, people might look at me strange because after each reading, I would be praying and clearing and praying before each reading. And like, people look at me like, just do all the readings, and then at the end you can clear the energy. But for me, it's like I always felt like I had to recenter. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and you do have to clear in between because you don't want to carry one energy to the next reading. So you kind of do have to clear in, at least for
Yeah.
me, I think so. But so that makes sense to me. Yeah. Okay, I am so excited to hear about your YouTube channel because this is brand new. Just started this
Hmm.
year, right? Or the end of last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I started it yeah, maybe like the very end of last year. I think it was like either December 31st or something, or yeah. Yeah. But I started it because of the pandemic. A lot of people that live alone, or a lot of people are depressed, and they're going through some really tough times right now. And even to meet people, it's not easy. A lot
Hmm.
of things changed, and so I notice and I feel like this sadness. And sometimes I felt like, if there's something I can do to help them, but there's only so much time in a day and only so much you can do. But I figured, if I start this YouTube channel, at least maybe hopefully, someone will look at it and be like, oh, okay, this helped me today, or something. And then maybe that'll help in some way. So that's my intention of starting it. So
Oh, that's so cool. It's really awesome. Some of the and the thing I like about your videos is they're very short. They're less than 30 minutes. A lot of them are like 10 minutes, 11
mhm.
minutes. And so like I said, I binge watched like all your videos so far in like a day or less, just a couple hours or an hour or two. I just watched all your videos. So very, very helpful information that you have on there. So I subscribed, so I hope everybody subscribes. It's under M Psychic Readings, right? On YouTube.
Yeah. M Psychic Readings. Yeah.
M Psychic Readings with an S at the end. And I hope everyone goes and follows you and subscribes because they're really, really helpful videos. She gives a lot of great information. She has meditation on there, a lot of healing stuff. So, and again, very easy bite size videos to consume because they're not too long and really easy to listen to or watch. Um, so I really, really love your YouTube channel. Now, you thought you were going to start a YouTube channel before, though, right? But you kind of
Yeah.
waited till your intuitive guides told you it was the right time, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, People were telling me to do it already, to start already, but for me, I felt like there's this energy that I had to wait for to happen, and then I could do it. Because if not, and you don't feel right about it, you don't feel good about it, then what you're putting out there, is not good either. And so I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that I was in a good space and I'm able to do this. And at the same time, I think things flow a lot easier when you're going with the energy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But your guides told you like on New Year's Eve or the
Yeah.
end of the year, okay,
Yeah.
okay, do it now, post now. It was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, so short notice, right? Like you got
Yeah.
that feeling to post right then and there.
Yeah. And I started to listen to that more because I noticed when you don't, then you miss your chance, or you miss your
Ah,
opportunity. And sometimes it's the weirdest thing. It's like maybe because they want you to do it at a certain time because everybody is like needing it at that moment, or could be something like that too. So
wow. Okay. But yeah, you just went with it though. You got
yeah.
the impetus that you should post now and you should start it now, and you did. You posted your first video, right? At that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, were you even prepared? Like it was like New Year's
um
Eve or something, right? The end of last year.
well, yeah, I was kind of prepared. Like I had stuff written out, things that I wanted to say. um and then how you kind of imagine it in your head, like, oh, this is what I'm doing. But I didn't really plan on like doing it that day, and I wasn't sure if it was going to even be in January. So I was just kind of hesitant, but everything else was right there. And
Ah,
so when I felt like, okay, just do it, sometimes I would just go for it. And because if I don't, then I'm never going to do it. Yeah. So I have to
yeah.
just go with that feeling. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that was good because then for many of us, if we feel like we're supposed to or meant to do something, we could start preparing. And when that way, when the timing is right and we feel like, okay, now is
Yeah.
the time that you have everything ready, you're prepared. So when you maybe the lesson here is to not just wait in the preparation, but be prepared.
Yeah.
So when the timing comes that you can strike, you can, that's a weird word, strike, but you can
Yeah.
you can start or you can go for it.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. It's like I've been realizing it's like you put like some intention into it. So you put it out there,
Ah,
you plant the seed, but then you don't control it. You don't control how it's going to
ah,
work, when it's going to work, and how to make it grow. You just do that, and then you pull away, and then you wait, and then you kind of
ah.
wait for that signal. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay, I have two questions before we go into the meditation. One is uh about well, let me ask my other question first. My other question is about your guides, because you do have spiritual guides, right?
Mhm.
Or people, or some kind of force, that energy that's guiding you. What or who are your spiritual guides, and how did you get in touch with them?
Okay, so I want to say for a very long time, I didn't know who my guides were because like a lot of people would say, oh, I see what they look like. I know what mines look like. I know their names. Um, for me, it was, I want to say it might have been from out of this world. I don't know, but it didn't, I could never pinpoint female, male, or where they're from. It's more of an energy or frequency. And as I got more involved in this, I realized that it's more like tapping into these things, but our subconscious mind creates them as well. So we create these things to be our guides so that we can look at something on the outside like, so we can say, okay, this is what's giving us the message versus this is what's giving us the message. And sometimes it's easier that way to separate it. And there's no right or wrong as long as you're getting the answer. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
but then after I started realizing that, yeah, it's more yourself, your inner self that's giving it to you, or a
Wow.
frequency. Um, there was a time though where my friend, she passed away, and we were like really good friends, and she passed away. I don't know when this was, maybe 10 years ago. And when she passed away, I could hear her talking to me, sitting next to me when I was doing reading. And she's like, I'm here, I'm going to help you with your reading. And I knew she was in the hospital at the time, so I already knew she just passed. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
don't tap in, don't listen to her, just do the reading, because do the reading for all these people that you're supposed to, or else you're going to start crying and you're not going to be able to function. So I was like
Uh,
telling her, can you pull back and stay away for a little bit, because there's something, I got to do this readings first. And she's like, no, I can help you. I'm like, oh my god. And that's just like her, that's her personality.
mm,
But so I kind of like tried to push her aside and do readings. But after that, sure enough, I looked at my phone and it says, oh yeah, your friend, she passed away. And I was like really sad. And then but so you can look at it in so many ways. So for that year, I was hearing her. I was hearing her, and she was. That's how I started being able to hear voices and hear things. So you can look at it as crazy, or or like from a psychologist point of view as depressed. I'm not sure, but I could hear these voices, and like I would go to places, and she would say things like, "Do this," or "Something's going to happen," and I would just know. But through
oh,
this whole process too, it could also be, again, my subconscious mind saying it's her, because I need an entity on the outside to say or to show me something. So it's so much easier. Um, but yeah, that did happen for me for about a year, but that really strengthened my abilities.
wow. Now, I never heard someone describe their guide as actually us, like coming from within. And do you think it's because, as well as outside, but
Mhm.
do you think it's because we tend to not trust our own intuition or our higher thinking or self? So we need it to validate it. We need it like to sound like or come from like an outside source.
Yeah, I think sometimes we it's easier to do that way, and like I said, there's no right or wrong. Doing it that way is good. It's it helps too, and I feel like yeah, that you can do it either or. And if you do tap inside, you do have to make sure you know yourself well enough so that you can pick up the frequencies and the energies. So a lot of times in my intuition class, I tell a lot of my students that they have to really know who they are, like what they don't like, what certain feelings feel like. And then when you get that, and you have that awareness, then you're able to pick up on different things. Yeah.
And you're able to separate who you are from the client you're reading, right? If you're picking
Yeah,
up
exactly.
your own stuff or the person's stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. So powerful. Okay, one more question, then we could get into the meditation. 2022. You know, we're going into third year of COVID. So it's been a long journey and a long challenge for many, many people. This year, for a lot of people I know, it's a rough start. It's been a rough start for
Yeah.
a lot of people I know, 2022. You would think that it would get easier, but it's not. Um, what is your feeling about this year? Any predictions, anything you pick up, anything we should know about 2022?
Um, I do feel that the the pandemic is gonna slow down a little bit. Um, but I also feel that there's more worldly things that we're gonna have to deal with and challenges. I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to get into politics. I don't want people to start calling me and saying stuff, but yeah. So but I do feel there's some worldly stuff is that we do have to go through and some challenges in there. But during the whole process, when you really think about it, what we really can do is go within and help ourselves, heal ourselves. Because when we do that, we're able to deal with more things that are coming our way. This year, I feel like a lot of people are reorganizing their life and changing the way they did things. Because last year, I think a lot of people went through too much deaths, too much suffering. They felt stuck, and this year they're like finally seeing it being lifted, and so they want to try harder. But because there's a lot of worldly things that are going to come up as well, I think that it's also reminding them to make sure they follow through on these things and to do what they can to change their life and to improve it and yeah, not be stuck in a situation they don't like. Yeah.
Mm, mm, mm. I mean, you're not the only one to say about the worldly things that we're going to endure this year. I interviewed Kevin Chan, feng shui master,
Hmm.
and he also brought that up, that especially in the later half of this year, August to September, he felt there's something going to happen. We should be saving our money and just being prepared for stuff that's going on in the world that might
Yeah.
affect all of us. So I hear that a lot. Oh, it's so scary, challenging, but I like that you said that we can stay centered and go within, heal ourselves,
Yeah.
and that will make us stronger and more resilient and
Hmm.
be able to cope and survive and s-
Yeah.
and persevere.
Yeah. Because coping is the best thing, because if you're not coping and you're in balance, you might put that out there and affect other people. So it's better to try
Mm,
and, do that for yourself, but also do that for others at the same time. I feel like that's the best thing that we can do and we do have control over. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so you have a meditation for us. I'm going to let you talk
Yeah.
about that and lead us through that.
Okay. So what I'm going to show is the soul mending meditation, and if you guys might have seen it on my YouTube channel, but the reason this is really good to do is people always ask, okay, how do you let go, or how do you heal from a situation or a conflict from your past? And honestly, it takes time. Time is what it takes to heal. But there is things you can do to kind of guide it and help it along, but don't expect that it's something that's going to heal instantly. It is a process that you have to go through. This meditation, what it is you want to visualize a person in front of you that you had conflict with or you need closure with. And it can be somebody, that already passed away or somebody that's still living. And you're going to visualize them in front of you. So at one part, I'm going to tell you to open your arms up and to visualize them coming into your aura and just hug them. And you're going to be telling them in your mind everything you feel that you always wanted to say to them. So I'm going to give you like a couple minutes for that. And then after you inhale, exhale, and you kind of let go of the energy. It's not saying you're letting go of the person, but you're letting go of the emotions that you had or you held on to for so long. You have to look at it as we're like crystals, we're holding on to different energies in our body. And the longer we keep it in us, it's gonna, eventually fester At the same time, it amplifies outwards and will attract that same kind of energy. Okay, and then so after that, I'm going to tell you to do that for one more person, so 2 people.
Okay.
Then the third person I will choose, and then we'll do that for the third person. After, I'm going to have you visualize gold light inside of your whole body to just kind of lift off the residue that we put out there, because you don't want to leave it there after. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to talk you through it, and we're going to start off by relaxing every part of our body first. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So just close your eyes and relax. Breathe in and out. Deep breathing. And visualize gold light coming into your crown. And as you inhale and exhale, let your breath bring your intention and your breath together to move throughout your whole body. So we're going through the head first, clearing your mind. Let the gold light go into your neck and shoulders, relaxing your neck and shoulders, and lifting off any negative energy. Let the gold light go into your arms, your hands, and fingertips. Breathe in and out. And let the gold light go into your chest, your back, your stomach, your spine. And just let the energy sink in. Breathe in and out and relax. Letting go of all your burdens for today. Let the gold light go into your hips, your thighs, your knees, your legs, your feet, your toes. Inhale and exhale and let go. I want you to visualize someone in front of you that you feel that you need to heal any relation you have with them, any conflict, or you need to make closure with. Open your arms up, hug them as you hug yourself, and tell them everything you feel you always needed to tell them that you never had a chance to say. Remember now, this is to let go of all your emotions. Inhale, exhale. When you're ready, open your arms up and let the energy go. And now visualize the next person in front of you. And also hug them. And in your mind, tell them everything you feel you always needed to tell them. Okay, and when you're ready, open your arms up and let them go. And now I want you to visualize someone in front of you, but this person is you. And it's going to be you at the age you feel you needed to hear this the most. And I want you to hug yourself and tell yourself everything you needed to hear at that time. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your arms and let go. Now you're going to visualize gold light again coming into your crown with the intention that it's healing you and lifting off any negative energy. Breathe in and out. Let it go into your neck and shoulders, healing your neck and shoulders. Breathe in and out. Let the gold light go into all of your organs, healing you, lifting off any residue, negative energy. Let the gold light expand into your arms, your hands and fingertips, your legs, your feet and toes. Now let the gold light expand in your aura and through this whole room. Let it lift off any negative residue. And in fact, I want you to visualize all the people you love in your house filled with gold light as well, with the intention to heal them. And also your car, if you have a car, visualize gold light in your car. And just sit in this gold light for a while. Soak in the energy. Breathe in and out. And now slowly, I want you to feel your feet touching the ground again so you can ground. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Wow, that was really, really good.
Mhm.
That was really, really good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you
Mhm.
so much. That was awesome. Hope everybody felt good about that and was able to release some stuff. You can watch this meditation again, share it off of Maris Chu's YouTube channel, M Psychic Readings. Find her on YouTube, and she has this meditation on her YouTube, and you can do it again or at other times when you need it or to help you.
Yeah, so this is good to do like at least every so often, like maybe once a week, and then maybe eventually you can do less. But in the beginning, if you have a lot of stuff that you know you have to heal from your past, then it's good to do more often, like once a week, so that you can make sure you kind of purge a lot of the emotions out. And like I said, though, a lot of it does take time, but at least you're trying and you're aware of it, and your intention is to help let it go, that it will work a little bit faster, and you have something to kind of guide you. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's so helpful. You know, what happens when, I'm going through a healing journey right now. I'm trying to face some childhood trauma and um dealing with healing that. And so what happens when you visualize people, but there's a lot of negative feelings that come out, like anger and
Oh, okay.
hatred?
That's interesting. You said that.
Because I could feel that coming up for me. And the words that I wanted to say was not kind, was not loving.
Yeah. So there is a meditation that I teach for that too. Actually,
Oh.
it's a it's like called Golden Lotus. And the reason how I started this meditation is a lot of times people tell me like, you know, or sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes they felt like they did something bad. Like they felt they did something really bad and they can't forgive themselves for it, you know?
Mm,
So and they said, how do you let go of these things when they see these things in their head all this time? So some
mhm,
people, they have PTSD and they see all these things all this time, and they try to push it down, but they don't know how to meditate. They said, oh, I don't know how to keep my mind clear. But actually, in the beginning, when you start meditating, it's not really about keeping your mind clear. It's about seeing what comes up, and what comes up, and you be aware of what's coming up. So the golden notices, I tell people to, it's, I call it golden lotus because, you know, the lotus is in the mud and then it rises, right? So I tell
mm,
people, sit in it, sit in the mud. So when you sit in that
mm,
mud, relive it, think it, feel it. You're going to go through some hate, some anger issues. You're going to be mad, but at the same time, you're letting it out. So you're going to cry and be mad if you have to. Give yourself permission to be that way, to let yourself let go. Because if you don't and you hold on to it, you're not healing, you're just pushing it down. And you're going to think you're healing, and then maybe later on in life, it'll come back up because you didn't really heal from it. So it's really about looking at it and really taking a look at it, and figuring out why this happened and why you're upset and why you're mad, and allow yourself to be mad, and allow yourself to cry and be sad about it as well. It's okay, you know, it's okay. You're not
mhm,
physically doing something to anybody to hurt them, you know. And
mhm,
so it's kind of like sitting there, and I know it sounds bad, but I think if you can handle it, reliving it and just go through it and feel it and understand the process and be pissed off. And then
mm,
after all of that, then visualize gold light coming through you, and let that
mm,
heal you, and with that intention, healing your whole body. And that one you might want to do more often, and you might have to do it until you get to a point where you don't care if it arises. You don't care if you get that thought.
mm.
You don't care if it's negative anymore, because you forgave yourself, and you're not going to be afraid to let that come up.
Oh, wow, wow.
Yeah,
So it's okay if these feelings come up and acknowledge them, feel them, process them,
yeah,
and then let the gold light heal them and heal you and release them. And then just keep
yeah,
doing that
definitely.
until you feel where it doesn't affect you.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they think meditation is like, oh, clear the mind. It is clear the mind, and you do get to that point, but you have to go through the healing process first. That's why it's so important to go through that to get to the next level. Yeah, because if
Mm,
not, then you're just pushing it back down. So I always say, yeah, you should relive it, feel it, experience it, know that it's there. Um, there's there's times, like, you know, where you would just maybe cry, and you're like, what kind of meditation is this? It's making me sad, but it's actually working. Yeah.
so because I was kind of surprised this time, because I told Maris I had a hard time doing this because of having to heal some and face some people.
Hmm.
And this time I was able to be in the moment, really focus, but I was surprised at some hateful stuff that came up. That,
Mm.
like, when you said say what you need to say, or what, tell them everything you need to tell them, there was some things that I wanted to say that were not good. And I was
Yeah,
surprised.
yeah,
I didn't know that was in there. I didn't know that was
yeah,
in there. And so that's a good thing then that that came up.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Wow. Okay, so that just I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to this process because that just shows me the work that I need to continue and to do, and that parts of me are holding on to anger um that I need to
Yeah,
address.
nobody's perfect. I mean, we all have that, yeah. So it's
Mhm.
not like you're gonna do this, and then all of a sudden one day you're not gonna get affected by anything, you know. It's like we get affected by everything every day. It's
Mhm.
just the good thing about it is we have these tools to help us to get back on track, and to kind of like say, okay, wait, at least I can do this now, and it'll help me. Or at the same time, it makes you more aware of it, so you don't hold on to it too long, you know.
Mm. That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
powerful. That's powerful. Okay. So people can follow you on YouTube, your YouTube channel, M Psychic Readings.
Yeah.
Also, your website is M Psychic Readings, so they can go there for all your services, and they can also follow you on Instagram and Facebook, all under M Psychic Readings, right? Is there anything else? Any other social media that you have?
And then eventually I'm going to start a Patreon account on patreon.com.
Patreon.com.
But not yet. Yeah.
Not yet. And that's when you're going to do your intuitive classes.
Yeah.
Okay. On your website, what services can they get from you? I know psychic readings, even distant readings. Are you doing distant readings for local people too?
Yeah, actually, I'm doing more distant readings for local people. It's actually more convenient for all of us, I think, especially at this time. Like everyone's been like so busy on the go, and a lot of people I've been doing video chats with. It's kind of funny because they're like in their cars too. They're like driving and they're getting the reading from me.
Really?
So
Really?
yeah,
Oh
or
my
they
gosh.
well, they're not driving, but they're like parked, and then they're
Oh yeah,
getting the reading from me. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting that, but it works out. I guess it works out for everybody's schedule. But I'm doing more video than anything else right now. Yeah.
Wow. And so besides psychic readings, was there anything else that services that you offer?
Actually, no, not at this time.
Okay.
Everything, I'm gonna just pour everything out as much as I can on all my social medias. I feel like I kind of just want it out there. Yeah.
Okay. So definitely following you, subscribing on your YouTube channel for latest content, checking out your website. All your fees for your psychic readings are on your website. Is your psychic readings usually 60 minutes, 30 minutes? How does
It's
that work?
usually 30 minutes. So right now it's $60 for 30 minutes. My prices are going to eventually change, but it hasn't changed yet. But when I do it, I'll probably post it and put it on my website.
Okay. Okay. That sounds great. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Maris, so much. Oh my gosh, we made it on time. How's that? 8 o'clock. 8:01. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Isn't Maris awesome? Oh my gosh, she's such a guiding light, and you're helping and healing so many people. And we appreciate you. I appreciate you. And thank you everyone who's tuning in and watching. I appreciate you too. I'm going to upload this to YouTube so that you can watch it again, share it, and I'm sure Maris will edit it and use it however she wants to. Please check out M Psychic Readings, mpsychicreadings.com for her website to sign up. They can sign up directly on your website for your reading, right?
Yep, they can book from there. Yeah.
And then YouTube channel, so Instagram and Facebook. Thank you, Maris, so much. That was really awesome.
Oh, thank you, Karen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Take care. And my healing and prayers go out to your cousin.
Oh, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Aloha, everybody.